It is I, Vasilica Nycteris, the cutest demon-infested doll currently residing in your attic. Today I'm a Foogie again, because we're doing another art stream. I had this idea, because I am an artist by trade, and so I think it would be fun to do some weapons concepts. And we're gonna do it with dice, have a bit of a more random element to it. So I made a list of 12 different weapons and 20 different themes, and then I'm gonna roll dice and see what I have to draw, or like what weapon I have to draw. It's kind of to, I guess, force me to be a bit more free, a bit more like, I don't know, creative, because I have a bit less control. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be cool. We're gonna try for like maybe like 20 minutes per piece, and then we're gonna go for like streaming for like maybe 2 hours. So maybe like we'll get to like, if I can do math, it'd be like 6 weapons. But we can get started. I'll roll for our first weapon. Here's a 10. Oh, thank God I don't want to draw a pistol yet. I am horrified of drawing guns. It's 10 and a 2. So, we have a bug hand axe. This would be... let me think about how I want to do this. I think weapons concepts are pretty cool, pretty fun. I think I'm more, I guess my expertise falls more into the line of like character design, where I guess like weapons, things like that, if they're like very specific to a character, would fall into that category. But I'm kind of thinking like just the initial base of things first. I'm thinking like trying to stay in the realm of like fantasy D&D type weapons, things that are like kind of nonsensical but pretty. And then the way I tend to go about like general concepting and like concept art painting is I like do rough shape, and then I go in with like values and define things. I tend to do most of my concept work in like black and white, and then paint them after the fact. But now I've got to think about bugs. I'm kind of thinking like bug wings, butterfly wings, that type of shape. But I need to, but like how would we make that kind of fit with like a hand axe? And I'm also kind of thinking about what I kind of want to do for the handle. But if we're going like, because bugs have like those two layered wings where it's like the smaller one. But we kind of need to fill the space. We could do like butterfly wings, but I kind of feel like I want to go for like more of a beetle-y or like bee shapes of wings. This is like a little fairy hunters kind of thing, I guess. bug legs. Because they've got like all them joints in there. I think that's kind of the vibe. I'm trying so hard to remember what bug wings look like. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and paint in shapes. I know that in like the little pocket areas of like where the wings are, or like all of the like the veiny parts of the wings are, they're gonna be a lot lighter than the outside. Because usually they're like see-through, lighter colors, and then with like beetles and not beetles but like bees, they tend to be like kind of holographic, so I want them to be shiny. I think we're thinking like these shapes down, and they're very like webby, very like not honeycomb, but like web shapey. And then kind of, I feel like blocking in some shapes, and then the veins of the wings will kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of like readability for that. It's also like super thin lines around the ends of bugs' wings, and they're also, since they're transparent, I kind of have to do both shapes at the same time for that overlap. They've got like, you know, those darker spots where it's like all the corners meet in areas. I've drawn bugs, not a ton. I'm not really, if any proof is needed of my desire or ability to draw animals, I do not do it often. From that little guy's stream, I can draw cats, and that is truly about it. Should have set a timer. I wasn't thinking about that. I feel like I'm getting a little bogged down in like small details, so I'm gonna go back and do like bigger shapes real quick. I feel like it reads a lot more like plant. We'll see, maybe I can, because I've got, how much longer? I'd say I've been going at it for about like 6-ish minutes. I've got about 10 minutes left. a bug enjoyer. I like, spiders are bugs, they're not insects though. I like spiders. I think they get a very bad rep, kind of like sharks. I think I'm kind of the mindset of like, so long as it does not touch me, I don't super care. I feel like that's how I am with like a lot of things, where it's like, except for mosquitoes. I think that mosquitoes are the one type of bug that are just here for human suffering and malaria. This one's a lot harder than I kind of expected it to be. I feel like maybe if there are any of these that I like super like, I'll probably run through and clean them up. Maybe not at the end of stream. Or maybe at the end of stream, we'll see. If I have time, or even if I just feel the immense motivation to revisit anything, I'll probably go back. Or even if not, like, now. If I do a second stream of this in the future, I can always go back and do, like, just have a day where I revisit some of these, clean them up, make them more, like, finished, I guess. Try and develop them a little more or something. I feel like this one is gonna be like a design that kind of relies a lot on color, which isn't bad. It's just kind of hard for like a initial design type thing. I'm gonna make the ends kind of jagged. I don't know. I like the idea of them being bug wings, because I don't really know what other kind of like angle you would take on this one. But bugs is cool. We like bugs. I feel like the edge needs to be more like... This would be an interesting thing to hit people or trees with, because that, like, dent. I think we need to, like, kind of imply the presence of, like, an edge on the blade. And then we can have, like, a reflection kind of going along the corners. I'm only one end and my hand is already getting tired. That, it reads more like stained glass. Maybe I'm gonna try and push some of that back and have this be like the front wing, I guess, even though I guess it would be the bottom one usually. I don't know, I haven't looked at like bug wings in a while. But I feel like kind of getting it to read as more transparent would help. Because there's like a dark line there. I feel like also giving it like a kind of a sharper curve up here would help it be more like axe, more like weapony. Because I think with the two rounded, like the softer round on the top and then the softer round at the bottom, or like on the blade, kind of makes it more, you know, like poofy, more puffy looking. I'll do the same at the bottom down here. And then I'm gonna keep the stick kind of not so deep. I think maybe giving it like those like buggish joints, because they have like those. They're like sharper joints. And then it'll probably... Holding this would probably be a nightmare. But it needs to be like... I'm thinking like bug size too. It's very fairy sized. I think if I make the... I think it's... because it's not like super balanced at the top and bottom, but I think I'm gonna have to suspend my disbelief on that part, because it is like a fantasy weapon. Of all of the tops of angles would be a lot lighter. I'll make the highlights a bit brighter in a moment. So like it'd be lighter here, then shadows down. I don't know what Bug's joints look like though. If I add the implication of like where they meet, it might help it a bit. Add more brighter highlights so that it has a bit more of like a glossy chitinous type of look. That reads well enough for a 15 to 20 minute little thing. I feel like maybe my one thing that I think might help it a bit more is if I made the blade a bit shorter. Like squash it down a bit. I kind of want to go back in like around here and add a better, like kind of define the edge of the blade a bit more. Blend this back in where I cut that up. And darken up the sides. For the blade, I think I need to kind of whole thing with like the reflection, where I'm gonna try, but I don't want to do it directly on here because I'm worried that I'll kind of fuck myself up a little bit. But it'd be like, I think I can go ahead and do it on here, where it's like the light that goes across and it's like consistent, and then when it gets to the blade, the angle changes. So it's like to there, kind of consistently in a straight-ish line. I don't know. I feel like another thing that might help it would be to go through and like the veins. The veins, and add little highlights, like little white spots on them, because they are pretty shiny too. Because they've got like, they are like slightly raised on the bugs, because the like the little like filmy holographic-y part of the wing, since it is like, it's kind of like more of like a web between the two, between the little veins. They also have like a lot of small ones in there. That one's the under part, so I'm gonna add in a couple of them up here, just to kind of put this one more on top of the other one. That kind of reads like bugs. I think the stick, the handle, could use some more like love and care. But bugs' legs are so weird. I feel like they've got like the little bug hairs, or they've got like barbs sometimes, so I can do like little shapies. Where would you hold this? I'm not entirely sure, but we're going for a vibe right now. If you like cut that in so that it's not such a smooth line, there would be, yeah. Then I'll darken up some parts down here a little bit too. I feel like it has like, it needs another one of the like a sharper joint down here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, pretty decent. Fix this so that it's not evident that my ability to draw far surpasses my ability to write. Okay, but I think that's one. And then we roll again. I think I will do one theme, or like each theme, each weapon one time per, just so that I can kind of keep my ideas fresh and not have to draw the same thing over and over again. Next one for our weapon. I dropped my dice on the floor. For my theme, which we'll do first, is 14. So that is fire and 4. Fire, bow, and arrow. Did I get 4 and 4? No, I got 14 and 4. Okay, so we'll do the bow and the arrow separately, so I can kind of have a design for each. Arrow's going to be pretty simple though, kind of like, it's really kind of just like a torch. But we'll see. I'm going to start again with like, I guess a neutral, we go neutral grays for initial shapes. I'm kind of thinking of, well, I have 2 ideas actually. I think it could be kind of cool to do like a, where I do, I guess like, there's a specific bow from Overwatch, one of Hanzo's ones. I don't remember what skin it's on, and I also have not played Overwatch, but I think it's kind of like the vibe of like a compact bow, and not like a traditional one where it's got like the wider center. I don't know if that's the correct bow, but I think I kind of want to do like tree bark, like a burning tree would be kind of sick. Kind of like when a tree gets electrocuted or like lightning and then the tree's on fire from the inside out. I think that's kind of the take I'm kind of thinking of. I'm gonna try not to zoom in a ton. And then the string will be an afterthought. I'll worry about the string later. But I think we kind of want to go like tree, like naturally shapes. But like, you know, tree branch raised and raise up some parts, darken down here so it's like a shadow. You know, push. I need to make this lighter so it's a bit more distinct. But like, you know, tree with like knots on it. Texture-y. Then I think that here kind of be like a inside, we'll have like, it'll be a lip there. And then we can have kind of the rings of the inside of the tree in there. I really want to play Civilization. I love that game. It's so fun. I definitely think I'm more of a strategy game person than a first-person shooter type person. My aim is bad, and I have a significantly easier time if all of the things are just on a map and I click around and that's it. So it's it'd be kind of more roundy. Kind of think like the edge of a tree branch where you cut off the thing. there's a heart in there. That's cute. I think need to do like more like verticals for like that wood grainy texture. And then I go in with like a darker and kind of put shadows on like the in-betweens and around the lines. I also think I might need to like rough up that edge a little bit. Not zooming in is very difficult for me. I love zooming in and I love flipping around my canvas very fast. I think that for this one, the fact that I have to draw in black and white is kind of to my advantage because I can make it look. It already looks very like charcoaly, very you know, very burnt, very crispy. Supposed to be an eraser. I feel like maybe adding like a couple of twigs might be kind of nice. I'm gonna sneeze. I tried to mute my mic, but I missed the button. Apologies. Some themes that I'm kind of hoping that I get, not necessarily paired with any specific weapon, but I think it would be, for a theme, I want like 13, which is like love, solely because in my head, any weapon that is like love themed just means that I get to draw a magical girl weapon, and I think that that would be really fun, because I'm kind of not. Another theme that I would kind of like, but for like different reasons, is like gothic, because I love like old architecture, the like spooky old vibe, which is the opposite reason of why I want the love theme, because I feel like that is sort of out of my expertise, my area of expertise, where I'm kind of like, I tend to draw things that lean more like spooky, scary, more like, you know, overly ornamental, decorative type things. Like when I designed my model, a lot of my themes was like a lot of my inspiration was like vintage dolls, cathedrals, like old fancy stuff essentially. It's a little bit of a fourth wall break, but that's fine. No, I am 700 and something, 23 years old. I was put in this body by a wizard when we made a deal, and now I'm stuck here. Because my heart is trapped in my body, and until I can execute the wizard, my heart is forever bound to this form. Not in a good way. Not in like a, oh, I love being in this body. More in a, my heart is trapped here because crucifixes, and I can't touch those. see. I don't think I can draw a straight line. Help me, tool shortcuts. I think that's good. I feel like I probably would need color to get the idea of like fire across, but I'm gonna do... I can put some flames on here. Oh, I've zoomed in. My bad. I feel like right at the top would be good, solely because it's like easy up at the top. But I think in my head it's like there's a fire, like a flame up at the top of here, and then you can use it to like light your arrows on fire. So it's practical. I've ever like tried to render fire, or I've ever like been in a moment where I was like, oh yes, I'll render fire for fun. So this is gonna truly just be a wholehearted attempt, but then that also kind of changes the lighting dynamic of this a bit, where it's like all this up here would be kind of lighter because it is in like where the flames are, and then since the light is on this side and some of it's dripping down there, I probably have to put some highlights down here as well. Not super giving burnt log and more kind of giving like charred, or like a cave. It kind of looks very cave-like. That's okay though. Got about like 5 minutes left on this one. So, and I gotta do the arrow too. So I'll go ahead and do that. I think kind of a similar thing for the arrow. I can go kind of more like coal shapes, not super neat shape for the arrowhead. I think I need to make it a bit smaller though. But like a more rougher shape for the arrowhead, and then kind of a for the tails, I'm kind of debating if I wanted to have the tails of the arrow be on fire, or if I want to leave it so that it's kind of like, oh, the arrowhead gets lit on fire. Could be both, because it is like candle wick shape. By that I mean a stick or straight-ish line that is associated, that gets lit on fire at some point. I feel like that's kind of good for my 20 minutes. I think that's good. You know, some like highlights along with that. bottom for here, because the fire's down there. Then I think that light is too big, too eye-catching up there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I kind of want to give the impression that it's like there is fire in here, kind of like the trees that get shocked. So kind of put like more warm, or like a brighter white inside, so then it's kind of like lighting the inside. Then around the lip of it, I can kind of give it like a bit more of a little bit more highlights around. Yeah, I think that kind of works a bit better. And when you got like little embers and junk. That's probably where like the arrows in here catch on fire when they get shot through. They get lit as they go through, which is pretty cool. Interesting little concept I'll go with. Yeah, easy. Easy, easy. A bit smaller and out of the way. Okay, and then we can cross off B. That line is super thick. But we can get rid of bow and arrow. We can get rid of fire. Weapon, we roll again. Weapon is going to be 10. We already rolled a 10. That went under something. Where'd that go? That one is going to be a 12. A magic staff. 14. We already rolled a 14. 17. An ancient magic staff. That's pretty par for the course for magic staffs, I think. Scooch that in a little bit. Ancient magic staff. I feel like ancient magic staff kinda, it goes like one of two ways, where it's like very clean, very regal, or it is like very like wilderness woodsy. Cause I'm trying to, I think I might go like the more like nature-y route for that one. Nope, I'm gonna use a more neutral gray. I'm thinking kind of like Gandalf. I also kind of like the idea of like magic crystal, but it's kind of like in the shape of those like lanterns. I can make it really clean. I I feel like for funsies, I'll go like a more like rough, rugged shape. I think I gotta like, I guess concept this out in my head of like, what is the origin of this? Why is this this? I think I'm kind of gonna go with like a, this is a staff that currently belongs to the oldest living man. World's oldest wizard. He's got an orb in there so that he can actively ponder it. I feel like it can be floating. It's magic. It can float. I feel like this is about to be another watch Vica try and draw wood for 20 minutes. I really love doing concept art. This truly is like my favorite way about drawing, or my favorite way to go about drawing. When it's just kind of like, oh, here's an idea, go. I think I'm doing the accidental, I get too small too fast. So I need to try and keep like bigger shapes. Am I erasing? I am. Switch my eraser or my pen to be a bit bigger. I feel like we can also add some like metallic elements in it to keep it not so like just a big wooden stick. Maybe keep it, or have it look a bit like twisting would also be kind of nice. Then I think it would kind of show up around here. Some darker, I think that's a little too dark, but some darker areas to kind of put a shadow where like that twist is. I think it needs to soften up a bit though. kind of trying to think about how I want to incorporate like some form of like metal or metallic thing. I also feel like maybe including like a some sort of like wrap around here of like cloth for wherever our oldest man alive can hold it. Up that orb. For easy on the road pondering. This is the part where we all have to acknowledge that I can't draw circles. Okay, and then I kind of do want to incorporate some sort of like with the whole like metal. I feel like including some of it on the orb would also be kind of sick, but I don't know how I kind of want to go about that. If I want to do it like a like it is wrapped up in it, or if there's like little metal symbols carved into it, but then I also have to think of what symbols that would be. I feel like maybe just like that. Maybe we'll incorporate more orbs. More orbs are good. Big orb and little orb. Do a little bit of cleanup on some of these sides because I've got like the pen I use is also the way I tend to use the same pen that I use to paint to erase, which often leaves kind of like those like wispy lines around. I think I'll do like not a real wrap on it, but maybe like a just like some rope. Yeah. Rope. And just put some highlights on it to kind of give you that sense of like what goes over what. Put some shadows up there too on the under ones. Some sort of talisman on here would be kind of cool. Then I think I might go back through and do kind of the metal veins going through. I think that would be kind of nice. But I also don't want it to be, because I want I don't know how to explain. I kind of feel like I might want to go through with the metal, but I need to find a way to incorporate it up at the top too, just so it's a bit balanced. I think I might need to make these ropes a bit thinner too. They just look a little chunky. I think that's good. I feel like maybe go through with like a couple of like bright highlights in some spots. Some brighter lights in like the orb. I guess we'll highlight in here as well, so it's kind of where the light's projecting out of. Clean some of this up too. Yeah, take a sip of my drink real quick. We're not at time yet for this one. I feel like timekeeping in this isn't super effective because I've started and finished these all at different rates, and so like I'm at like around an hour for stream, and so that'd be about 20 minutes each, but I'm pretty sure I've like finished all of these before my 20 minutes, or like at exactly my 20 minutes, or others cut into each other's time, but it doesn't matter because some of them were finished early, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of good. I think we'll call that one. This one was magic staff, ancient magic staff. Oh, too big. Right, smaller. Okay. So ancient stuff. There we go. Okay. Let's cross those off. Drop my dice. And for our weapon, it will be 4. We already got a 4. It'll be a 9. Sword. Easy, easy. 3. Steampunk sword. Okay, that's fine. Steampunk sword. Oh, this needs to be cut. Put that down there. Really gotta try to stop flip-flopping on my canvas. Airplane. We love to hear it. different types of swords on here too, so I'll go like standard. Standard, I can't draw a straight line type sword. I feel like now's my chance to get creative though, because I don't know if I want to do like just a and then put a gear on it and call it. I feel like maybe make it a more interesting shape would be cool. I'm kind of thinking, oh, but that would be more like a cutlass if I had it like kind of curved and then had like the teeth, like the gear's teeth on the sides. Stop zooming in. Let's see. I kind of like the idea of it having like gear teeth on it. How would I go about that though? Do something like that and then have I kind of like that. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, we can do something like that. Then for the handle, that would also be kind of more like a rapier as well, though. I feel like maybe, some of this might come through a bit better in like some of the, when I get a bit further with like the, I say a lot, with some of the details, because I can have welding marks and like the overlapping lines from where it's like different panels of metal. More sharp up those edges, I think. Which side would be the... Well, I guess swords, both sides are sharp, so it'd be like a weird center line. It'd have like a weird center line. So I'll try that. But I might have to wind up making one side the blade, one side more of the, like a blunt end. Maybe just at the top there's two sides, so it's like if you cut with the very end of the sword, you're all good, but then down here it's kind of like serrated. Yeah, this one's kind of weird. It's giving Genshin Impact. Yeah, this is a weird one. This one's kind of strange. I kind of like it though. I think it's interesting. Maybe some like welding lines would probably help out a bit. Make it read more as like steampunk and gears rather than like fancy ancient weaponry that someone just kind of found. To have the pieces not match up so perfectly, and then have like welding lines around here. Yeah, I think that helps a bit. And then maybe up here have it so that it's clear that these are two separate things. So it's like that piece overlaps here. Make it clear that those two are separate, yeah. And then bolts. Bolt it down. Yeah, it's a very cobbled together hodgepodge of a sword. It's interesting to look at though, which is good. It's very unique, that's for sure. Strangely enough, I think this one has been the easiest one. I'm only at about halftime with this one, something like that. Add some darker darks around where I can. Down here. Trying to fix up those welding lines a little bit. I think that's not horrible. just try not to jump zoom in so far, or keep zooming in and out again. I think this needs to be sharper. It looks more like a, like something dripping. If I can sharpen that side up a bit. That's a bit better. I just gotta get some of these highlights, remove these highlights, so that there's more towards the bottom as well. It's a bit more balanced. I feel like it needs more like wires and shit. Wires and valves and tubes. Maybe that'll come in down here. You can figure out something to do with the base of it, I think. We can do something, that's for sure. Put a light bulb in here. Not sure why, but steampunk likes light bulbs, question mark? I don't know a ton about steampunk. It's like adjacent to my knowledge of like fashion, but I tend to go more like Victorian ghost type beat. I think for like the base, I'm thinking like tube, like copper tube. I imagine this whole thing is like those like shades of like copper and like the oxidized copper, so it's like all green and brown. Then I can get some like lines in here to imply that it's kind of like multiple pieces bolted together. Yeah, something like that. And then the handle's just gonna be a handle. Put another light bulb at the end though. I feel like maybe put a button on here or something. then we'll like wire it up. I feel like I might need to, I want to make this a little thinner. It's already like hella top heavy. Yeah, it gives steampunk. Maybe I'll put this. This can rotate or something, I don't know. Yeah, that reads a bit better. It's kind of like a switchblade made out of gears and lights, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. That's fine. Maybe make the button a little darker so that it's not glowing. Something like that. That's pretty cool. I will scooch this in. Everything over a little bit. It's pretty good. Pretty interesting lineup so far. I definitely think as I go along, I'm starting to get more like creative now that I've warmed up a bit. Sword, and steampunk. Then we'll go again. Time for two more? Three more? We'll see. 9 on the weapon. We already did 9. 6. Claymore. Big sword. $6.20. So a baked goods claymore. Okay. That's a concept. I might... For now, I'm gonna hide these two and take up a diagonal space. And then when it's done, I'll shrink everything down and rotate it and put it down at the bottom. Baked goods claymore. Because I have baked goods, but I also have candy on the list, so I kind of have to keep that distinction of... I'm about to just make a gigantic baguette. I feel like claymores are their whole thing. Claymores, I'm sure, are a real sword. I only know things D&D and video games, so I don't know. But I think they're big two-handed ones. The same way I did the steampunk one, the steampunk sword. I think baked goods, think like bread, pies, pie would be cool, because then I can get like a lattice on there. I might do a pie, because then I can also incorporate some like decorative elements of like fruits. So I'm gonna do an apple pie, because that is my favorite food. One of my favorite foods. My two favorite foods, I like apple pie and I like salmon sashimi. An interesting duo. Not together, of course. That'd be unhinged and weird. I feel like apple pies have like a sharper edge. I'm gonna go like like the little crimped edges. I'll clean that up in a moment and make them even. It doesn't have to be perfect, because hand-baked foods are not always perfect. I think I want it to have more of like a curve. This looks like something. I'll go ahead and do the lattice now so that it stops looking slightly phallic. Be like a pie tin, where it's like the flared up towards the top of it. It's a little pie dish. Then the handle's got to be long so that you can counterweigh it with your entire body. And then the end can be a little apple. Wait, that'd be so cute. Okay. That's the idea. But now I'm gonna clean up down here. And I think I'm gonna use this underlayer that I already have to kind of do like apple shapes. It's just like the C's have seeds because pie filling, you cut those out. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. The main focus is the upper part. Let's see, because like the crimped edges always kind of have like or would it be, they're kind of cut like that, so it would be like, no, I think I'm gonna have like an edge on it. Let me do the like the pie, the lattice real quick. So it'd be over, under, over. Then this one's over. It's under, over, under, yeah. A pie. Over, under. I'm gonna have to figure out what I wanted. Or I could honestly leave the outside, or leave this part like hollow, but I want there to be like the pie filling. I feel like that looks cuter. Like the crimped edges. Oh, that's cute. It looks like a cake. Or I guess it looks like a pie. Darker one and go back in a little bit over here. Just kind of yeah. I don't think I have to super worry about this one looking like metal because it's a pie. But I do still kind of want it to have like that like glossiness that a lot of baked goods have on the top. So it has the kind of shine, that kind of like pie, the glossy pie or whatever. When you like, what's it called? I think it's like you like egg wash or like simple syrup on top. feel like this one's gonna take me the longest solely because it's like a bigger surface area, which I think is fair. Got about like 8 minutes left on this one, so it should be fine. Incorporate some of the like darker shadows back over onto the sides. It's just getting like, it's very one tone all the way through. This is so cute. I really like this one. I think I should on this side since it's like coming this way, so like shadows, so the shadows would be on the other side of that one, especially because it would keep it consistent with over here. I think we need to just make the inside of this pretty dark. Yeah, I think that as cute as it would be to have like the subtle or little apple textures, or like the little C's for apple shapes, I think it just reads better since it's so bright up on the outside. I need it to be dark on the inside in order to keep it like legible between the two spaces. I do still need to add some like darks up here though. I've got like 3 minutes left on this one, and I have not touched the guard or the pommel or the handle or anything. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we want it to be like a pie tin. That's pretty simple, It'd just be like, then I just gotta make some of them, or make them pointy. But I also have to make, if there's like a dark side, there's also a light one. So I'm gonna make that smaller, and then do like highlights directly next to them. And those will be like the raised parts. Perspective on this is gonna be poo-poo garbage, but that's okay. Would be... yeah, like that. And then I just gotta go across, and then for like the center I just have to clean them up. But around the edges I can just erase out what parts are sharp, what parts are not. Clear them out. I think it's a little lopsided. Oh geez. Yeah, that's way better. Yeah, this one's gonna take a little bit longer. It's okay though. I'll just have to go quicker on my last two. Even then, there's really nothing set in time limits on it, but I was like, oh, the idea that I could do these all 20 minutes each. I also think the bottom down here is a little too dark. I think it's because it doesn't blend super well down here with the bottom of those. I think if I smoothed them out or made them a bit rounder, not so sharp, it would probably help it a bit. Yeah. That's better. Just gotta clean up a tiny bit. And then I gotta do handle. I'm kind of thinking like, what's a baking utensil? You could put a spatula down there. That'd be kind of funny. A wooden spoon. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cute. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do a wooden spoon. As cute as the little apple would be. I feel like we're going like... The theme was like bakery, not baked goods, so... Oh, this is so silly. I like this one a lot. The grandmother's claymore. That's so silly. I love it. And I think I want to put like a dollop of whipped cream on it somewhere. Like whipped cream and maybe some little leaves, little like pie leaves. Maybe I could put some like an apple or two down here. I do want to try the whipped cream though. I just want to see what that would be like. It would be ice cream, wouldn't it? Because that's like pie a la mode, so it would be like... a scoop. And the bottom's like kind of fuzzy. I love this one. I love this one a lot, actually. This one's so cute. And then I just need some like darker shadows in here. Then like down at the bottom too, on the underside of the little scoopy edge. That's so cute. Some more highlights down here too. It's clear that I have a favorite when it comes to how much effort I'm putting into these. It's too bright. I need to put like some bright whites in my ice cream too. And then I'll do like the little, because it's vanilla, so it'd be like the little flecks of vanilla in there. I'm gonna make it smaller, I think, too. It's fantasy. It doesn't have to make so much sense. Then just do a little bit of shading underneath it. eraser. Then I'm gonna put like little apple slices down here. Apple slices are to use a darker color. This one is so silly. I like this one the most. Also standing like up more, upright more than the other one. At the base down here, and then we're back here. Gotta erase out down here. Yeah, that's a bit better. Put them a bit more forward. Apple meat. I think I'm gonna put the seeds in there just because of like just for like visual sake. Don't eat apple seeds, they'll poison you. I think apple seeds have arsenic in them. So if you eat a ton of them, you'll poison yourself. Isn't that fun? Yeah, that one's my favorite. 100% that one's my favorite. I think it still needs a couple more things, but I've taken like half an hour to almost... Yeah, I've taken a little over half an hour on just this one. So I'll move on, I say, as I go back in and add a little bit more. Yeah, that's good for now. I think I might revisit some of these later, color amend something. Let's see. I think I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna push it. I'm gonna put it in the back because I like it being here. And then I'll just extend my canvas. But I want you all to be able to see all of them at the same time, so. Bakery Claymore. Okay, so we can cross that off too. Bakery Claymore. Be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done 5 in 2 hours. I don't know the conversion. I think that last one took me like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, nearly 40 minutes. I guess, yeah, 40 minutes, double time. Okay, we'll do one more. This one is 8, so an easy one, a dagger. 17, we've done 17. 6. Gothic dagger. That one is also relatively easy. What I'll do... I'll go over here, and I'll extend my canvas out the rest of the way, and then... Actually, I'll do the dagger first. This one can be small, so I'll probably be able to fit it down here later. But for right now, I want to give it its own space. What was it? Gothic dagger? I'm thinking like, when I think Gothic, I think like stained glass windows. So I think I want to kind of go for that type of vibe. I think like stained glass windows and those arches that are like this with all of like the fancy shit hanging from them, like where they're like that. They've got like circles and junk, and then like yeah. Let's see. This one's kind of like really easy. I'm gonna draw it big so that I can take up the space. I'm thinking of making it stained glassy, or stained glass, and then using the shapes of the arches as the base of it. So I would cut out the window parts on the inside and kind of have the dagger be almost hollow, but like glass instead. The more rounded end shape like that. But let me not get too small too fast. I really need to work on that. Okay. And then they have like the art shapes. I feel like I have that too high. Make it a bit lower so that it's in line with that. So it would be like there-ish. It looks like a penguin. It looks like a penguin with a very tall head. Like the decorative things going downwards, stuff like that. I love how every time I say I'm like, oh, I'm super confident in this one specific thing, it winds up being the one that I like cannot do for the life of me. It happened yesterday when I was like, oh yes, I'm good at peak, and then I didn't win until my very last try, and I proceeded to die within the first 15 minutes of all of my attempts. Then they've got like the rose windows. This one looks like an eye. But they're usually like that. Still looks like an eye. I'll fix that later. I feel like it's kind of hard to... If I want this... The issue is I kind of want it to be hollow. But then it's like, how hollow can I get it to be without it being structurally not good? I feel like maybe if I can get it to look kind of like it's embossed or like carved into this, it would help it not look so structurally damaged. I kind of want to go with like a similar thing for this. Have kind of the guard have some of those motifs of like the arches and I don't know what the little dippy down parts are called. Something like that. And then I do think that this one would also, kind of like with the bug wings one, would have to rely a lot heavier on color. might do one more after this one. I feel like we're ending on a... Not that this one is, like, easier. I just think, like, dagger is kind of a quick one to end on, you know? Don't need that. I don't need that anymore. But I do need to fill in the gaps. I think I'm gonna zoom in and just... Yeah, that's good. But I want it to look like metal. So I can do... This side would be darker, but I think that I want it to be like significantly brighter. And then, yeah, have it look like the lines are carved into it so that like the lines are all darker. They all have like a bit of like shadow, and then I can do highlights on the inside lines, or like right against the lines, so it looks like those parts are like kind of raised versus recessed, I guess. Yeah. It's very coffin shaped. It gives the vibe of a coffin. Yeah, this one is definitely a lot simpler than... I think the simplest one for over all of the... I think this is number 6. All of the 6 that I've done would probably be the magic staff, because you can't get... in my head, or like I just couldn't get too creative with the magic staff. Especially like with an ancient one. I feel like if it was like more of like a theme rather than an age, I might have been able to do something interesting, like have it be like specific to whatever element whoever is using it had or used. I feel like that would have made it a bit more like unique of a take on a magic staff versus what I wound up with, which is okay. It's not like super big of a deal. And even then, it's like, this is what I love to do, what I was taught to do. And there's always going to be like warm-up rounds, so... I feel like the earlier ones were very warm-ups, and then the starting here is where I started getting creative. I do still really like the fire one. I think that the like the old looking tree, or the old burnt wood, is pretty cool. I think I did like decent at it. I don't think it was like perfect, but I do still really like what I wound up with on that one. also be metal, or the guard will be metal. Need like white. I'm gonna make the sides even. I was gonna leave it asymmetrical, but I feel like if I want it to be asymmetrical on this type of thing, I would need it to have like a very drastically different other side, like have like a chunk cut out of it or something. But I feel like it would kind of, having like a big piece missing from it, I feel like wouldn't really match the vibe of the rest of the knife. Okay, I'm just trying to see if there's holes in the painting. There is. Then just the handle, really. Yeah, this one was pretty simple. I think I can do one more. And just hope that it's not a pistol, because I still don't think I can draw a gun right now. I'm actually really hoping for the great axe. Or battle axe is what I put on there. Was easy. Too thick. Yep, Gothic dagger. Bread knife. And then we will do one more. End at around 2.5 hours, which seems to be my average. So it's Gothic dagger. Our weapon is a 5. It's a scythe. That's sick. Scythe, and our theme is 11. Demonic scythe. I feel like that's a pretty easy one. Gonna go for it. Let's see. Change my color back to my gray. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. Okay. Demonic scythe. Demonic scythe. Demonic scythe. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, I'm trying to think. I have a cool idea. I can make it a big, like, bat wing almost. So it'd be... because then it also gives it more, like, sharp, pointier edges. So it has, like, the blade end, but then at the top there would still be, like, I need to do this on a separate layer because I cannot draw bat wings without... Okay, I can draw bat wings. In order to be a batwing, it needs at least 3. Three pointies to be bats. I think that's close to what I want. I think I need to make it thinner towards the front. Yeah. More like toothy. Then I want the base to kind of like slope a bit more. Okay, oh, wrong one. That's fine. I feel like I'm gonna change the angle of this last one, so I want it to be more like flared open. Yeah, something like that. I think I do want it to be a big wing. That'd be kind of sick. So have it like... I also think it'd be kind of cool for it to look less metal and more like organic. So like this was a living creature's wing at some point. To be like bonier, I guess. So like more sharp and like fingery. So I can give it like claws at the ends. It's kind of dragonish is what I'm seeing. I just sharpen up those points. Another thing that might make it read a bit more sight is if I swooped this down a bit more. It would be that, and then so that it has like that rounded arch shape. If I push that so that it's like pointed there, and then the end there would like, I can make it like a spear. Then I'll put that, make that claw bigger too. It is very much just a dragon wing on a pike, or a bat wing on a pike. That'd be kind of, have the stick go like, I'm using the wrong brush. Have the stick kind of go through it, so it's like woven into it. I can make that look more the way I need it to in a moment, but I think that's kind of the vibe. Then the bottom would have like matching shapes as the top, where it's like the, I feel like not, try and avoid rounded shapes on this one. Like put some rings on there, then have a wooden or whatever section. Maybe I'll curve it a little bit too. I think it needs to be longer. Yeah, because I would need, I think maybe curving it like that. Something like that would be cool. Doesn't need to make like perfect total sense. This is just a drawing. So it's like raised around there, around the stick, then it's like recessed. But I'll have to fix that up in a second. I think I need it to be, I need to stand, or the colors to stand out a bit more against the, like the gray of the wing. Then there'd be like highlights there, and then it'd be more recessed there. I think there would also probably be like, you'd be able to see like a cut through it. So I'd have to go back in and like, another plane. So then it's kind of like impaled through. That's kind of cool. It's not perfect, but the idea is there. Plus these were all just supposed to be like quick concept drawings. I just need to go through and add some like texture in here, and then like have it, make it clear that these are like the blade is like still a blade. giving umbrella. I'll do like highlight, and then it's like the highlight is there, and then where it's curved it like refracts, breaks, and goes the other way a little bit. Yeah, kind of like that. Little sharp barbs, and like I guess the little like claws and teeth on here. Put teeth on here. I don't know if I want to put teeth on here, but you know, the idea of like, since it is or once was a living creature, having like more organically shaped things, like how bugs in their legs have like a bunch of little pieces that stick off, how there's kind of just like, you know, it's like not just flat straight lines, there's like additional things and additional pieces that kind of protrude and make more shapes. That highlight looks too much like it's ripped, which honestly it would probably be pretty cool if it was, but I think that would be like a version 2 of this weapon when it's like battle worn, or a bit more battle worn than it is, considering that it's like something's wing stuck on a pike. like these last two were pretty easy ones, pretty chill ones. I think like Demon Scythe is pretty standard in terms of like a weapon. Then I just gotta clean up down on the pole. Oh, and then where the little bands are, I can do like a little bit of metal texturing, or a little bit of metal highlights. For a person who really doesn't like drawing metal, I sure do draw metal a lot. It's gotten like significantly easier though. I'm not gonna go too in detail on it though. I feel like the main appeal of this one is the big fucking monster wing at the top. I think maybe I'll go back and add like white highlights though. To be like lighter than the rest of it. I'm not sure why. I just feel like it'd be like a nice little break there. I think that's pretty good. Just white, bright whites left. I'd need that to be a bit more in the center, so like there. Yeah, something like that. I feel like up here is getting kind of blendy together. It like all kind of fades in. So I'm gonna add some darks up here too. Having it be a bit more like I guess like ragged at that end kind of gives the vibe that it was ripped off of something before it was put on the stick. Give a little bit of highlights here too. And then just need to do something at the very top of the pole and I'm good. Easy. Easy work. Oops, that's wrong. Not easy work. I take it back. Okay. I think we're about good on this one too. Clean up the ends though. Sick. Okay, I think I'm going to take you. Put you there. Scooch, scooch, scooch. And then I gotta find somewhere to put my bread sword. Since we finished all of those, oops, this goes in there too. Okay, since I finished up with all of those, or since we don't need that at this exact moment, we can slide everything over. Still need a little bit of extra space over here, but okay. What we'll do is form, change canvas size, extend that out a bit, and hope that's enough. Yeah, cool. I'm like tripping over my own words, saying things that I always say all the time. Is there an E at the end of that? Probably. Let me make that smaller. Was there an E at the end? That was probably supposed to be, but I'm not good at spelling, so I'm gonna just say that it's fine. But we can scooch these three over, because I feel like the dagger's kind of getting smushed. It's not being given its own space. We can put it over here. Yeah, that's better. Spin it all over. Okay. But there is our final lineup. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 today. Right? Yeah, 7 today in about 2.5 hours. Pretty good. I definitely really like the bakery, the apple pie claymore. I think it came out really cute. I'm probably gonna go through and clean some of these up and then I'll post them on my Twitter, and then I'll probably go through and like clean up my favorite ones, which would probably be the demon scythe and the bakery claymore. I just think they came out neat. But that'll be my stream for today. Thank you for stopping by and watching along while I did some art, while I drew some concept art. It was fun. I will be back again next week at some point in time for something. My schedule's not 100% like solid right now, but I will be back on Tuesday, I think. Yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday. But thank you, and goodbye.